Hi guys, my name is Joan Mbola. I am a physician associate working in general practice. Yesterday marked my 2-year anniversary since I started working as a qualified physician associate in general practice. So it's been a while since I made a video about my PA journey. If any of you who are subscribed to this channel are still watching and are still here for these updates, thank you so much for sticking around. I just wanted to update you about how the last 6 months or so have been, since the last time I actually made a video about being a PA. So if you would like to, hear me ramble and give you an update, then keep watching. So if you haven't watched my last vlogs, I think earlier this year I was doing a cervical sample taker training. I think I vlogged my experience doing the theoretical part of that training and also doing the practical session, but the partners in my practice decided that they think it would be more useful to pursue the actual course that would give me the opportunity to be able to fit coils and implants. So since then, I have spoken to one of the trainers at my practice, and one of the core clinicians, she's very, very kindly accepted to train me. So I need to go on a course, which takes up like 1.5 to 2 years to complete both the theoretical session and the practical session. So I have to do the modules, and I have to sit an exam, and then I have to do the practical session. But anyway, so I have not been able to start yet on that course because things have been a bit crazy. In April, I was assigned my own list of patients, and the workload sort of doubled for me. And since then, I've been a bit stressed and quite overwhelmed actually by everything. And I've been speaking to my supervisor, and today actually I had a meeting with one of the managers to try and see how we can tweak my timetable and tweak my clinics to help me to be able to deal with the overwhelming workload, and just to see how I can manage the stress a bit better. I have not had the time to actually pursue this course I mentioned, and just other things that would help me advance or progress in my career. So some things are in the works, and I will hopefully update you guys about that in the future. So yeah, the last 6 months have been, I think I've grown a lot in terms of my clinical skills. I've grown a lot in terms of my people skills. It has been very, very stressful in GP land. I don't know if any of my PAs out there work in GP land, but a lot of people in hospital that have the perception that GP land is not stressful. It is stressful. It's just a different kind of stress. I can assure you that it is stressful. We do get our own end of the stick. Patients, it's stressful everywhere. But anyway, so yeah, things have been overwhelming, and like I said, I'm still in the process of trying to get that work-life balance. In terms of my clinic, so my clinics have been diversified. I don't know, the last time I did a day in the life of a physician associate working from home, I did tell you guys that I was doing diabetes review clinics. I still do them, and I do quite enjoy them. One of the things that has changed since that last update was that I now do certain calls during the week when we get referrals to our practice from other practices for women to have coils coils inserted or removed, or implants inserted or removed. We have 2 coil clinicians at the practice, and I do those telephone consultations, call the women, just make sure that I'm able to book the appointment at a suitable time. There's quite a few questions I need to go over with them, assess the risks, and just give them advice about the appointment, what to do, things like that, and just to make sure I give them the advice so they can prepare for the appointment, and make sure that I book it at an appropriate date, because obviously you don't want to book the appointment, and then for whatever reason, when they turn up for the appointment, something has happened that they can't go through with inserting the coil. So rather than going through a reception who are non-clinicians, the coil clinicians thought it would be good to for the women to actually speak to a clinician first before the appointment is booked. And I very happily volunteered to do it, since at the moment I'm not actually doing those coil clinics. Before, I have shadowed of the coil clinicians, and yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to get things changed a little bit with my timetable, so I can get time to actually start that course. And hopefully when I do start it, I will document my journey here on this channel. So at the moment I have 9 sessions. I work Monday to Friday at the moment, and I have Tuesday mornings off. Like I said, Thursday afternoons I do have the diabetes reviews, and sometimes then I do the coil clinics, the coil calls, and sometimes I do CKD reviews as well. If I get the list of those, I can do the CKD reviews. I think all of us, the clinicians here at my practice, are finding that we're having to see a lot of patients face to face. My practice is trying to change the appointment system slightly, just to accommodate the growing demand for face-to-face clinics. Obviously, things are slowly transitioning back to the way it was pre-pandemic. A lot of the GP trainees here have face-to-face clinics, so like it was pre-pandemic, but a lot of us other permanent clinicians do still have the telephone triaging clinics, where we phone the patient first and then we see the patient face-to-face if we need to. But I'm finding that, I'm having to see 4 or 5 patients and having to call them and then having to arrange a time for them to come in. Sometimes it takes even longer, and yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And so today's a Thursday afternoon. I just finished having my diabetes reviews clinic, and I had quite a few call referrals, so I had to call the women and book this appointment. So today was actually all right. I had a normal clinic in the morning, which was okay. And Thursday afternoons I get to go home early, because obviously they're the reviews, and it doesn't generate as much admin, but obviously the documentation is quite a lot, because I have to fill in a template, make sure that I took all the right things before I save the care plan. So yeah, anyway, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so in terms of admin stuff, so again, that's something that has increased since I got my own list of patients, because now I not only receive the lab reports and documents that for the patients that I spoke to that's generated from my clinics, I also get admin associated with my own patients. So if, for example, a patient of mine goes to A&E and they're seen in A&E or the call 111, and then there's a report, that letter comes through to me. If they're seen by specialists and that letter comes through to me, I have to read the letter, and if they said please prescribe this, I have to arrange for that prescription to be issued. Or if they say please can you refer onward, I need to figure out that referral, or try to book an appointment for this patient to have that referral, and things like that. And also lab reports as well. Lots and lots of patients, lots of people are feeling tired, lots of people are getting infections. We're going to do lots of blood tests, and a lot of those come through, and yeah, we have to sort that out. I mean, when I was having a chat today about my speed in terms of how fast I am in handling my clinics, I feel like I'm not the fastest. I'm getting there. I feel like dealing with complex stuff and trying to deal with the current appointment system is a bit tricky. So it's a combination of me not being the fastest, and also just seeing more complex patients, and also just having to deal with other additional responsibility since April. And I'm really hoping that after my meeting today, that some things will change and it will help me to be able to balance things a bit more. I love my job, I enjoy my job, and I think it's very rewarding. It's just, trying to find that balance, and just, making sure that it doesn't get to that point where it's taking over your life. As some of you might know, I'm an author, I'm a writer, and I have published 2 novels and 1 devotional, and I am currently working on my 3rd novel, which I'm set to release next year. So I have other things that I do outside of work and outside of being a PA and being a physician associate. So I don't want that to definitely consume me. I think a lot of things. Looking back at the last year, apart from the fact that I've been more stressed and I've had more responsibility, I think I've made more connections with, having my own named patients. I think it's good to build that relationship, because if the patient knows you as their named clinician, there's that continuity of care and you get to know them to a certain degree. And I think that that's really, really important, especially in primary care. Of course, it doesn't always happen, but I like having that, and I like having to get to know a few patients, and also the patients I speak to, with the diabetes reviews. I had a patient come in, knock on my door a few weeks ago, and they gave me a card because they said that they've been able to get their diabetes under control, because all I did was call them, and because they were on a maximum amount of diabetes agents, or 3 anti-diabetic agents, I had to refer them onto the community diabetes team. That's all I did. So since referring them to the community diabetes team, they'd come up with a way that maximized his to optimize his diabetes control, and now the patient was so happy that his diabetes was. And the patient was so happy that the diabetes was under control, and they thought it, good to come and give me a card. And I thought that was really sweet of them. And it's moments like that that reminds me about the impact that we make. I know it's stressful, but our job is so important. We're touching people's lives. It's amazing that to have moments like that. It's not always that way, because obviously, yes, I do have moments where patients disagree, or patients don't like a decision that I've made and they challenge that decision and things like that, or they don't want to speak to me because I'm a PA and not a doctor, things like that. Normal PA day-to-day stuff that you deal with, not day-to-day, but like sometimes that you deal with some struggles that would be unique to a PA as opposed to like any other clinician. But yeah, so I just thought there's definitely been stressful moments over the last year, but I think overall I'm still loving the job. And I'm just, here's to me just being hopeful that the next year would be filled with even more opportunities to grow as a clinician, to grow as a person, to diversify my skills, and hopefully to do stuff that I love and to progress in my career. And I will try my best to try and share the journey with you guys. I did say that I wasn't going to record if I don't feel like it. I don't want to be forced doing something I don't want to do, or do something just for the sake of it. But I just thought it'd be nice to give you guys an update. So thank you so much if you're still following me because of my PA journey. Comment down below, let me know where you guys are at, what you guys are doing now. And congratulations to every single person who got their national exam results this week. I know that some of you have passed and are qualified physician associate, which is great. If you didn't pass, it's not the end of the world. I know it's easier said than done, but there is hope. I know some people who have had to resit and they passed in the end. I'm praying for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be nice in the comments, and we don't want negativity here, and say a prayer for me too. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Have a nice day and take care. Bye.